Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bangor University MSc Counseling Research Conference. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Momna Anwar. I am a second year MSc Counseling student at Bangor University. Today, I will be sharing with you my research dissertation spinning around the pole differences among women in embodiment and resilience at various pole fitness levels. In this presentation, I will introduce you to the variables of the study and the relevant research literature background, followed by the research question and the methodology employed for the present study. I will then present the results and discuss the findings of the present study, and my presentation will end with a take-home message for the audience. To begin with, it is important to understand what pole fitness is. Pole fitness is a popular aerobic exercise which develops body flexibility, strength, cardiorespiratory endurance, and body positivity through dance-like movements. However, pole fitness as a recreational activity still carries the stigma as it emerged from the sexist and hypersexualized pole dance. Despite the stigma, women still consider it a liberating choice as it defies the negative stereotypes of the real pole dance and lets them participate in a physical activity that challenges the social norms about female sexuality and objectification. Previous researches have suggested that women who do pole consider it an embodying activity. They find it empowering because it boosts their self confidence, body image, autonomy, while also reducing self objectification. So, what is embodiment? Embodiment is a multidimensional construct which encompasses individuals' lived experiences and engagement with the world through their bodies. It is the degree to which an individual believes they possess the strength, functionality, and autonomy to interact effectively with the world using their bodies. The developmental theory of embodiment suggests that social context strongly influences the relationship between mind and body, and therefore the social context would strongly influence the embodiment experiences of individuals. Resilience is the third and last variable included in the present study. Resilience means going through, managing, and growing from the stressful life events. From an experiential perspective, resilience is an embodiment experience where our body helps us to resonate with the world we live in. By evaluating the positive and negative aspects of the lived embodied experiences, individuals try to regain the balance that was disturbed by a distressing life event. There are many internal and external factors that might influence individuals' resilience, such as one's self esteem, self confidence, self efficacy, social support, and sense of safety. Now, some background research about the factors that contribute positively to embodiment and psychological resilience. Previous research evidence suggests that participation in leisure physical activities can enhance the sense of positive embodiment. Activities such as yoga and pole dance are embodying because they boost the feelings of competence and build a strong mind body connection by offering an environment that is non judgmental, inclusive, and accepting of all body types. Similarly, recreational activities and exercise also contributes positively to the development of psychological resilience to the extent that it predicts it. Exercise boosts resilience at the core biological level by promoting the release of neurotransmitters and endorphins, which results in relaxation and good mood, and consequently, individuals are better able to focus on problem solving and overcoming the stressful life event. Activities such as pole dance foster self confidence in individuals through developing a sense of achievement, skill development, and autonomy, while also enhancing physical fitness and resilience. Interestingly, the fulfillment of basic needs of autonomy, relatedness, and competence also mediates the relationship between physical activity and psychological resilience. Therefore, an activity like pole fitness could enhance both positive embodiment and resilience. As the literature review suggests that there is similarity in the core mechanisms through which physical activity and exercise contribute to the development of positive embodiment and psychological resilience in individuals. Previously, in a limited number of qualitative studies, researchers have examined how activities such as yoga and pole dance contribute positively to the embodiment experiences in women. Quite similarly, the role of various forms of exercise and physical activity has been examined with reference to its contribution to development of psychological resilience. However, so far no study has ever examined the role of pole fitness in this regard to the variables of interest. Therefore, the present study seeks to bridge this gap by examining pole fitness, how pole fitness relates to embodiment and resilience. This study will examine the differences in embodiment and resilience across various pole fitness levels. The levels of pole fitness are advanced, higher intermediate, beginner, and those who had never done pole before. Therefore, it is hypothesized that individuals who are more proficient in pole fitness would exhibit higher levels of embodiment and resilience in comparison to those individuals who are less proficient in pole. This takes us to the methodology used for the present study. In the final analysis, 61 participants were included who were all women aged 19 to 45 years. The inclusion criteria for the present study was that the participants must be enrolled in a pole fitness course at the time they were recruited for the study, and they must be 18 years of age or older. The participants were divided into 5 groups based on their pole proficiency, and the number of individuals in each group is presented in this pie chart. A between subjects research design was used for the present study. There was one independent variable and 2 dependent variables. The independent variable was pole fitness level or pole proficiency. There were 5 levels of pole fitness, namely never done pole, beginner, intermediate, higher intermediate, and advanced. The 2 dependent variables were experience of embodiment and resilience. 2 measures were used for the present study. The first one is experience of embodiment scale, which has 6 subscales or dimensions. The dimensions are positive body connection and comfort, body unencumbered adjustment, agency and functionality, experience and expression of sexual desire, attuned self-care, and resistance to objectification. The second measure was the resilience evaluation scale, which has 2 subscales. These 2 subscales represent its 2 dimensions. The subscales are self-confidence and self-esteem. In terms of procedure for the present study, the initial ethical approval was granted by Bangor University School of Psychology, Ethics and Research Committee. The participants were recruited through posters and social media posts, and they were also presented with a QR code in person at the start of the new course at the Pole Fitness Studios. The data was collected through an online site toolkit questionnaire, which included a consent form, demographic questions, questions about their current pole fitness level. These questionnaires also included the measures for experience of embodiment and resilience. Moving on to the results of the present study, Figure 1 shows a bar chart representing the mean scores of the participants on experience of embodiment scale and its subscales. As it can be seen in the bar chart, that generally the participants across all 5 pole fitness groups scored high on experience of embodiment scale, with participants in the higher intermediate group scoring highest, closely followed by the other 3 groups, and participants in the never done pole group scoring the lowest on experience of embodiment scale. The main hypothesis of the study was that there will be significant differences in embodiment as measured by experience of embodiment scale across the 5 pole fitness levels, with more proficient participants scoring higher. The 1-pair ANOVA conducted for this purpose was significant with a medium effect size. A post hoc analysis revealed that participants in higher intermediate and intermediate groups scored significantly higher in comparison to the participants who were just beginners or who had never done pole before. Group differences between advanced and all the remaining pole fitness groups were non-significant. This shows that our hypothesis was only partially supported by the findings of the study. In order to find out whether there were any significant group differences on the subscales of experience of embodiment scale across various pole fitness levels, 6 independent ANOVA tests were done. The ANOVA for the subscales positive body connection and comfort, body unencumbered adjustment, agency and functionality, experience and expression of sexual desire, and attuned self-care were significant with small to medium effect size. The post hoc analysis revealed that higher intermediate and intermediate groups scored significantly higher on these subscales in comparison to the beginner and never done pole group. The group differences between advanced and all other pole fitness groups were mostly non-significant on these subscales. The ANOVA for the last subscale, which is resistance to objectification, was also non-significant. Figure 2 shows the bar chart for participants' mean score on the resilience evaluation scale and its subscales. As it can be seen from the bar chart that generally the participants of the study scored high on resilience evaluation scale, with participants in the higher intermediate group scoring highest on this scale and the participants who had never done pole scoring the lowest. This trend is quite similar to the trend observed for the participant scores on experience of embodiment scale used for the present study. As I have mentioned earlier, the main hypothesis of the study was that there will be significant differences in resilience scores as measured by resilience evaluation scale across the pole fitness levels, with more proficient pole participants scoring higher. A one-way ANOVA showed significant differences between the five pole fitness groups. The post hoc test indicated that intermediate and higher intermediate groups' mean resilience scores were significantly higher than the beginner and never done pole group. Non-significant differences were found between advanced group and all the remaining groups included in the study. Therefore, the hypothesis was partially supported. In order to find out whether there were any significant group differences on the subscales of resilience evaluation scale across the various pole fitness levels, two independent ANOVAs were done. For both the subscales, self-esteem and self-confidence, the ANOVA was significant, with a medium effect size for both. A post hoc analysis revealed that intermediate and higher intermediate groups' self-confidence and self-esteem scores were significantly higher than the beginner and the never done pole group scores. No significant differences were found between advanced and all the other groups included in the study. So the trend for the group differences is similar across the main scale and the subscales of resilience evaluation scale. This brings us to the discussion of the findings of the present study. These findings are consistent with the previous research indicating that engaging in attuned and joyful activities and exercise positively impacts individuals' experiences of living in their bodies and their psychological resilience. The only exception to these findings was for the advanced pole fitness group, where group differences were non-significant across most of the pole fitness groups. It could be because of the unequal group size with only 4 participants in advanced pole group, whereas other groups had at least 11 or more participants. More proficient pole participants' higher scores on experience of embodiment can be explained in the light of previous research. Pole classes accept diverse body forms and physical abilities, which helps participants get comfortable in their bodies and lets them feel empowered and free of appearance-based social norms. When individuals no longer focus on their appearance, they no longer limit their social life based on poor body unencumbered adjustment. Activities like pole dance and fitness allow participants to notice how their body feels, such as while attempting a challenging maneuver on pole. It builds their confidence in their capability and their physical endurance. This fine attunement with their bodies strengthens the mind-body connection and promotes an adaptive, functionality-based mindset, leading to positive embodiment. Earlier research has suggested that mindfulness-based embodiment experiences increase women's sensitivity to sexual stimuli and sexual pleasures and increase respect for their bodies. Positive embodiment experiences shift how individuals think about and appreciate their lived body experiences. Therefore, they enthusiastically follow their interests and proactively take care of themselves. Although the group differences on resistance to objectification were non-significant, more pole proficient participants scored higher on embodiment. This is in line with the previous research that when individuals focus more on their inner body experiences and resist social pressure to conform to prevalent body ideals to please others, they are more likely to experience positive embodiment. Although previously none of the studies have demonstrated how pole fitness might contribute to resilience, but general benefits of exercise and physical activity can be applied to pole fitness as well. Despite the methodological variance, previous researchers have supported our findings that participation in aerobic or anaerobic exercise builds psychological resilience. It builds individual self confidence and self esteem. The exercise and self esteem model suggests that when individuals engage in exercise, their physical competence and body acceptance mediates the changes in self esteem, which affects their psychological resilience in a positive manner. The findings of the present study highlight the crucial role of mind body connection, which can be achieved through pole fitness. In terms of broader implications, the present study has contributed to the destigmatization of pole fitness, which is still controversial as it emerged from sexualized pole dance. This study did have a few limitations, such as in the present study, the sample consisted of participants from two pole fitness studios only. Therefore, a systematic sample bias is possible. Furthermore, in-depth information obtained through qualitative interviews would have helped the researcher to understand how pole exercise contributes to making individuals more resilient and how it enhances their experience of embodiment. Much work remains to be done before a full understanding of the benefits of pole fitness can be established. Present studies suggest that future researchers can test the benefits of pole exercise as an intervention or a training program using an experimental group and a control group. Future studies could examine potential mechanisms of change hidden in pole fitness that could lead to better mental health outcomes. The present study also suggests a path model to investigate the direct relationship of pole fitness and psychological resilience, while also examining the indirect relationship between two variables through embodiment and its six dimensions as mediator. So, despite the controversy, pole fitness has made its way to the mainstream fitness and exercise. My take home message for the audience is that listen to your bodies, embrace yourself without any judgments, give yourself a chance to rekindle the positive mind body connection, and pole fitness is one such norm defying avenue which is inspiring and empowering. So, why not try it? Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments below.